Title: The Climb to Success. In a bustling city, there was a school nestled between tall buildings and busy streets. Inside that school was a classroom filled with students of all ages, each with their own dreams and goals. Among them was a boy named Sam. Sam was not the best student in his class. He struggled with math and found science confusing. While others seemed to grasp concepts quickly, he often had to work twice as hard to keep up. One day, the teacher, Mrs. Reynolds, announced a new project. "We are going to build a model rocket," she said. "This project will require teamwork, problem solving, and a lot of persistence. It's not going to be easy, but I believe all of you can do it if you put in the effort." The class buzzed with excitement, but Sam felt a knot in his stomach. He had never built anything like a rocket before, and the idea of failing in front of everyone worried him. But Mrs. Reynolds had said one thing that stuck with him: persistence. She often told the class that success was not about how smart you were, but how much you were willing to try and keep trying. The students were divided into teams, and Sam was paired with 3 others: Mia, who was great at math, Daniel, who loved science, and Lily, who was creative with her hands. Sam was nervous, unsure of how he could contribute. They began working on their rocket, and at first, things went smoothly. Mia calculated the measurements, Daniel worked on the science behind the rocket's design, and Lily crafted the parts. Sam, however, struggled to find his role. The others were quick to notice his hesitance. "Don't worry, Sam," said Mia kindly. "You can help with whatever you're comfortable with. We'll figure this out together." Sam decided he would help by assembling the rocket's body. It seemed like a simple task, but as he worked, he encountered problem after problem. The parts didn't fit together as they should, and the more he tried, the more frustrated he became. After a while, he wanted to give up. "I'm just not good at this," he said, slumping in his chair. Mrs. Reynolds noticed Sam's struggle and came over. "Sam, do you know the story of the Wright brothers?" she asked. Sam shook his head. "They were the first to build a successful airplane," Mrs. Reynolds continued. "But before they succeeded, they failed many times. They kept trying, learning from each mistake. Persistence is what made them succeed, not immediate success." Sam thought about her words. Maybe he wasn't good at building rockets yet, but that didn't mean he couldn't get better. He decided to keep going. Every day after school, Sam stayed behind to work on the rocket. He read books about rockets, watched videos, and practiced with different materials. His teammates noticed his effort and helped him whenever they could. It wasn't easy. Sometimes they assembled the rocket, only for it to fall apart again. Sometimes their design seemed perfect, but it wouldn't launch properly. Each failure was a blow. But Sam reminded himself that each mistake was a step closer to success. Weeks passed, and the day of the launch arrived. The teams gathered outside on the field, each standing beside their rockets. Sam's team was nervous but hopeful. Their rocket wasn't the biggest or the most impressive looking, but it was the result of countless hours of hard work and learning. Mrs. Reynolds gave the signal, and one by one, the teams launched their rockets. Some soared high, others sputtered, and a few failed to lift off the ground. When it was Sam's team's turn, they held their breath as Daniel pressed the launch button. For a moment, nothing happened. Sam's heart sank, but then slowly, their rocket began to rise. It lifted off the ground, wobbling at first, but then it shot into the sky with a burst of speed. The class erupted into cheers. Sam couldn't believe it. Their rocket wasn't the highest flying, but it flew, and that was more than he had dared to hope for. He looked at his teammates, who were all smiling, and then at Mrs. Reynolds, who gave him a proud nod. After the launch, Mrs. Reynolds gathered the class. "Today, you all learned something important," she said. "Success is not about getting everything right the first time. It's about learning, trying, failing, and trying again." Sam and his team showed us that persistence, not perfection, is the key to achieving our goals. From that day on, Sam approached his studies with a new attitude. Math was still hard, and science still confused him sometimes, but he didn't let that stop him. Whenever he struggled, he remembered the rocket and how every failure had brought them closer to success. So what's the moral of the story? Persistence is more important than immediate success. In learning and in life, it's not about being perfect the first time, but about pushing through challenges, learning from mistakes, and continuing to try. With persistence, you can achieve things you never thought possible. To keep this channel thriving and continue bringing you great content, please consider subscribing, sharing with your friends, and supporting our efforts with your valuable comments. Your support makes all the difference. Thank you for watching.